All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here tonight. You know, I'm excited about river cruising. You all have heard me talk about it so much over the past few months as you've gotten to know me. And some of you have known me for a long time. And it's the first you heard me talking about river cruising. Um, I'm a big fan of AMA waterways. I've cruised with them before. And when it comes to rivers, they're the only ones that I'll cruise with after being on AMA waterways. There are a lot of great opportunities when it comes to AMA and what makes them different and what makes them special. And Columba, who I work with closely at AMA, is kind enough to join us tonight to really walk us through in a much clearer way than I can as to, the points of difference for AMA waterways and why they really stand out in so many travelers' minds. So Columba, I turn it over to you.
Yes, and I'm excited to see how excited you are, because I've been with the company for 10 years now. For those of you that have never been on a river cruise, that's fine. But some of you may have been on a big ship before. River cruising is really, really growing in popularity. I've been here for 10 years. My last position, I was with Royal Caribbean. You couldn't really get any bigger than that. But I was at the point where I was just tired of that, and when people ask, who are these people that go on river cruises? They are people that have been there, done that on the big ships, and now they're looking for something totally different. Or the people that say, oh, no, I could never go on a ship with 5,000 people. That is just not my idea of fun. So when we talk about AMA means love. That's the first thing I'll say. And we're not, the biggest river cruise company out there. There are several, but we're not the biggest. We are a family-run business, and what we do is we put the money, rather than in advertising or spreading our good word, we rely on past guests that come back from a fabulous experience and tell their friends and family. And we rely on travel professionals like Matt, who has now come and experienced our product, that can tell you the differences. Because for those of you that have been on big ships, there are differences there, right? Some people choose Carnival, some choose Royal Caribbean, some choose Celebrity. They choose different lines for different reasons. So what we want to talk about tonight is us as a company, where we go, and what sets us apart, I should say, from our competitors out there. So when we look at where we go, all the river cruise companies are going to the same place. You can't really be that creative with that. So when you look at the map, it's from the North Sea to the Black Sea. All these blue lines are the little rivers that we traverse. All the big ships have to go all the way around. They can't get you here. The only way you would see these places in between would be on a motor coach tour, which, not so exciting, or driving yourself, which could be exciting, but can also be a little tedious and, nerve-wracking for people. So if you already know about cruises, you like cruising, the facility of cruising, you just, unpack once. You've got everything planned for you. There's no worries, nothing to plan as far as where you're going for lunch, where you're going for dinner. Everything is there for you. But we do so much more than what we do on board. It's really the offshore experiences that we give you as a company that makes us unique from the other companies. So all these rivers, the Danube, the Rhine. In France, we have 5 different itineraries, beautiful itineraries. So if you really love France, we've got lots of options there. We have 2 little ships in Portugal that will take you from Porto to Lisbon with pre and post land extensions. We've got exotic destinations. Hold on, let me move this over or minimize it at least. Okay, we've got our exotic destinations. We've got a tiny little ship that sails in Africa on the Chobe River. We've got a ship that sails in Egypt, and we have a ship that sails on the Mekong River in Vietnam and Cambodia. So we're going to talk mostly about Europe tonight because, that's really the heart of our business. But if you are interested in learning more about our other destinations, we would love to come back and do another one of these sessions with you, another time in more detail. So that would not at all be a problem because I love talking about almond waterways, that's for sure.
And those Egypt and Africa ships are really something else because there are only like 20 rooms on them. So you really got a lot of space, and it's really, beyond personalized attention because there are just as many crew as there are passengers.
Absolutely. Africa ship is only 14 staterooms, 28 guests. The Vietnam, Cambodia is 122 guests. Egypt is 36 staterooms. So, small. And we have a new destination that we're launching next year, but I'm going to keep that one a secret for a little bit longer. So when we look at our fleet of ships, we have a total of 25. So I said we're a small company. Oops, excuse me. We're a small company, but we're really not that small. We do have 25 ships that comprise our fleet. And our newest ones were added up until last year. Oh, we've got somebody else joining. Hold on.
I just let Coach Glow in.
All right, thank you. I forgot you're my co-host. Okay, so there's our complete fleet of ships. So like I said, we're not the biggest company out there, but we've got plenty going on. So what I want to really focus on tonight, as Matt alluded to, are the AMA differences. These are features that you will not find on other river cruise companies that are out there. Basically, I want to start with the size of the ships. All river cruises have to be the same width, the same length to get through the many locks along the rivers. AMA Waterways carries an average of 156 guests on our ship. Our major competitor on the same size ship is carrying 190 guests. So that's a lot more people. So what does that tell you right there? It tells you that their staterooms are smaller than ours because they're carrying more people, and they don't have other amenities. They basically are staterooms, dining room, showroom, and that's pretty much it. When you embark on an AMA Waterways cruise, you'll find a gym, you'll find a masseuse, a hairdresser, you have larger staterooms, you have a specialty restaurant as well as the regular restaurant, and just more space per person on the ship. So it's a much nicer atmosphere. And when we take you off the ship on excursions, we take you in smaller groups. So the staff on board does an outstanding job. Like I said, there's gyms, they'll do classes on board. Up on the top deck, we have a wellness coach on all of our ships in Europe. You can see a shot of one of our staterooms. I have another one coming up. Beautifully appointed, Wi-Fi is included. You've got a TV with movies that are on demand, complimentary. So when you're looking at a river cruise, you might initially think it's a little expensive when you compare it to a big ship. But you have to realize you're sailing with 156 people. That's like a lifeboat on Royal Caribbean, okay? So you've got a lot less people, and you've got wonderful amenities that are being, given to you, and everything is pretty much included. So
Yeah.
even the excursions, I know you love this part. So talk about that, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Everything is included. Everything except for, if you want a massage or something like that, but everything is included. And the thing, what I really enjoyed about the excursions was there were like 5 options every day. It wasn't, oh, you're doing this or that, or you're just doing this. You had this massive choice of excursions to choose from. They were all already included. And I know when I was on the cruise, I made some friends, and I'm going one place, they're going another place, and we're coming back and we're exchanging pictures, comparing who made the better choice that day, or who made the better choice leading up to the cruise. There were a couple of days that there were multiple excursions, not like choice wise, but we were one place in the morning and we saw one city, and then we went someplace else for the evening and got a private experience inside of a castle as we got a tour there in a castle that's not open to anyone else. And, I've been on a couple of cruises, and you never get 2 excursions included in one day if it's all inclusive. It's one excursion a day. So it's those little things to me that really make AMA stand out, is those choice of excursions, because yes, it's a great ship. The experience, though, really happens when you're off the ship and you're going to these off the beaten path locations, because it's not always just the big tourist sites. I spent a day in the Black Forest, and I was talking to some other people recently who've been on the Rhine River, and none of them even knew that was an option, because on the cruise line they went on, it wasn't. So I think this is one of the things that makes AMA stand out to me, and really is why it's someone that I'm partnering with, because I'm not going to put my name to something that I don't have 100% faith in and confidence in and truly enjoy myself, because that's what I talk about with the personal and expert service that I try to provide all my travelers. So I'm going to stop talking and turn it back over to Columba because I'm stuck.
Okay, so getting back to what's not included, just to allude, just continue with that. Gratuities are not included. So you can prepay your gratuities for the shipboard staff if you'd like to, if you don't want to worry about anything, but local guides you tip as you go along. Okay, we also do not include all alcohol all day, but we have fantastic beer, wine, well, not fantastic beer, wine, and soda, but fantastic wines that we serve with lunch and dinner.
And beer.
It is complimentary. And if you don't turn your glass upside down, be careful because it does keep on coming. So, we do also have a 1 hour complimentary cocktail party every night before dinner. So some guests say, well, why don't you just include drinks all day? When you get on a river cruise, you'll realize there's very little time you actually spend on the ship. Most of it is out and exploring. And if there's one thing we learned after this pandemic, well, maybe not on a day like today in New York, people want to be outside. They want to be outdoors. They don't want to be in a floating shopping mall where you never see water or anything along the way. So gratuity is not included. Alcohol all day is not included, but there's plenty of it that is included. And as Matt said, of course, you go to spa treatment, get your hair done. That kind of stuff is not included. Wi-Fi is included. Did I mention that? Not like a big ship where you buy minutes where you have to spend time. Wi-Fi is included on our ships.
And
no extra charge.
It's high speed because I was streaming with some people at times when I was on board, because you're going through cities, you're going through developed areas in Europe. So you have great connection. And with just going back for a second on the wine and the beer, I drank a ton when I was on my cruise.
Turn your glass upside down.
It was my first day on board and I didn't know any better. And I got a beer right after I got back on board from the excursion. And it was $3 first off for a pint of beer. But after that, I quickly realized if I waited 30 minutes was the free cocktail hour that Columba was talking about. And that was really the only 30 minutes on board each day that you had time to go and maybe buy a glass of wine if you wanted to. So while it's not 24/7 or that way, it really is all inclusive with the wine and the beer. And another thing that I know me and my friends did, who I met on board, was we were going through great wine destinations along the Rhine, Strasbourg, Rudensheim, and we'd pick up some wine in port and we'd bring it back on and enjoy it ourselves then and there, because we got to experience it there that day. So that was really fun as well.
And we all know big ships don't let you do that. They confiscate your alcohol till you get off the ship, right? They don't let you take your alcohol. So we let you do that. I did the same. I bought schnapps in Dernstein when I was there. So yeah, you can do that without a problem. But it's really, the staff does a great job. Like I said, with On the Waterways, we want you to feel like part of the family because we are a family company. So here you see our great service, the great staff, 156 guests, and about 50 personnel on board the ship to take care of everything you need. Great shot of our owners on the back deck of the ship. This is one of our signature staterooms, which is a twin balcony. So there's no such thing as an inside stateroom on an On the Waterways cruise. So if those of you that have been on the big ships, those rooms with no windows, we do have cabins with a minimum window. And then we have French balconies, and then we have these, which are our twin balconies. So you see a step out balcony on the left and a French balcony on the right. So again, TV, safe deposit box, bathrobe and slippers, all your toiletries. We're a very green company, so we've done away with the little throwaway disposable bottles. Now we're doing the refillable bottles. Bottled water is replenished complimentary in the stateroom every day as you consume it. So you don't have to worry about any of that. When we talk about the dining, we are part of the Champ de Rôtisserie, which is a culinary institute. So unlike other river cruise companies, we have 2 dining options on our ships. We have a main dining room where the menu changes every night, and it's really about where you're traveling to. So that's what river cruising is about. You're in the heart of these different cities, these different countries, and we bring the flavors of the countries you're visiting on board the ship. So if you're doing a Danube cruise, you'll get your Wiener Schnitzel, your soccer tort, you'll get your Hungarian goulash, all the great desserts. Whenever you walk into the dining room, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, tablecloth, napkins, cloth, just beautifully presented, lots of glasses, lots of silverware, and just really, presented beautifully. So in addition to the main dining room, which is open every night, I'm sorry.
Open seating as well, no reservations.
Yes, open seating. And that's really a great way to mix and, mingle and meet people. You want a table for two, that's fine too. But most people just, they'll just join other people and have a great time, meeting new friends. So open seating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And breakfast and lunch is open seating. Like, let's say breakfast is 7 to 9, lunch is 12 to 2. Dinner, we do want everybody there at the same time. It's a little bit more formal for dinner. So right after the cocktail party, people make their way down to the dining room and enjoy dinner for as long as you want. It's one seating, it's never rushed. And then we have our specialty restaurant, which is called the Chef's Table. This is a unique dining experience because here the menu stays the same all week long. People usually go once during the cruise, but it's a multi-course tasting menu. As you can see, there's the chef in the background, so it's an open kitchen. You'll get on board the first day, you'll make a reservation for whatever night you choose. There's no additional charge for this. You'll walk in on your night, the maitre d' will introduce himself, he'll introduce the wines, the staff, and then it starts. And it's multi-courses, but I don't want you to think you're going to be rolling out of the dining room. They're all little tiny, delicious, beautifully presented, delectable delights. My favorite is the dessert because there's usually 3 on the plate. You don't have to choose. You just get them and they're fantastic. And the wine changes per course as well. So if you have a seafood course, you can have the white wine. If you're going to have a meat, they're going to bring you the red. And it's just really, really beautiful. So no charge. You have one night special on the cruise. You make a reservation for the Chef's Table. And when I looked at the map before, what I forgot to mention, I apologize. Our cruises are mostly 7 nights, but we always offer pre and post land extensions. One thing that came out of this pandemic and what we're seeing this year with the airfares being quite high, people want to get more bang for their buck. They want to spend more time. They're going. Why just go to Europe for 1 week? Isn't that silly? So we want to extend your vacation by giving you pre-options. So for example, if you're doing a Rhine cruise that starts in Amsterdam, you can do 2 nights pre before you get on the ship. When you get off the ship in Basel, you can do extra nights on land that go to Zurich and Lucerne or Lake Como as an option. Well, on those land extensions, our cruise managers travel with you. So when you arrive, say in Prague, the cruise manager will be at the hotel. He's there to greet everybody. There is sightseeing included in that pre-hotel package. There's breakfast daily. So it's not just a hotel. It's more. And you have the services of the cruise manager. So once they do that 3 nights in Prague, then they go on the ship. Then when you get off the ship and continue, they also continue with you as well. So that's unique to AMA Waterways. You were going to say something, Matt?
Oh, no, but I will jump in with, and if you do the post excursion, at that point, the cruise manager knows exactly what you like and what you don't, and it's catered to you, everything. And that's why I liked AMA so much, is it really is. It's just because so few people are on board, everyone gets to know each other, which I'm not always a fan of, but in this case I was, because they listen to what you're saying and they make those little changes. So this cruise manager, who you've now known for a week, he's going to make sure if you like the extra bottle of water in your room, that extra bottle is going to be there. If he knows you prefer red wine over white wine, that's what you're going to be served. So the cruise managers really do stand out, really make it top-notch experience.
Yes, and when you do the pre-package, you get a heads up on everybody else because you get to meet him before the other guests do. So when we talked about the excursions briefly, Matt mentioned the variety. So every other river cruise company will say city tour. You say, okay, but I want to do this tour. They'll say, okay, you can do that, but there's an extra charge. That's not the case with AMA, as he mentioned. And you have 3 to 4 choices in each port of call, not each day, because there will be days you'll be in 2 ports in one day. So you'll have 3 to 4 choices in the morning, 3 to 4 choices in the afternoon. And if you think that river cruising is just about seeing churches, town square, and city hall, think again, because we have a variety of excursions. We've got guided hiking tours, as you see here. We have bike tours. We have wine tasting tours. We have culinary tours, like Matt mentioned, a castle tour. So lots and lots of choices of excursions. So when we look at some of the itineraries, one of our most popular is the Danube, because everybody hears about the blue Danube, which is not really blue, but you know, it's a popular one. We have our very own personal Oktoberfest on every Danube cruise that leaves, but that embarks or disembarks in Wilshofen, Germany. So that's a special thing that AMA does. This gorgeous shot in the lower corner here is the Parliament building in Budapest. It is a sight to behold by day, but by night it's even more spectacular. And with AMA Waterways, we take you past it in the evening as well. Just really, really gorgeous place to be. So the Danube offers a lot of big cities as well as some small towns, but you'll get your Salzburg, you'll get Vienna, you get Budapest, you get 4 major European capitals on a Danube cruise. And you see a picture here of a mother and daughter. We also welcome families on board our ships. You're not going to find them often, but in the summer months, maybe for the Christmas markets, our ships built after 2016 actually have triple, quad, and connecting staterooms. So if you've got family that wants to join you, it's a great opportunity to see the Danube. And here's the typical Danube itinerary. We have a few different ones. They vary very, very slightly. So as you can see, you're going to be going into 5 different countries. Czech Republic is not really a place that you cruise to, but you'll take an excursion one day if you choose to. When you're in Linz, you can either go to Český Krumlov, which is in the Czech Republic, or you could go to the Austrian Lake region, which is spectacular, or you can go to Salzburg. That is the most difficult day to make a decision of where to go on an excursion. But this typical itinerary will start with 3 nights at a hotel in Prague. Then we'll motor coach you, do a stop in Regensburg for sightseeing. Then you'll board the ship here in Wilshofen, Germany, where we'll have our Oktoberfest. And then all these other little dots are the ports, not only the ports, but the excursions that you will go to see. So you've got Vienna, like I said, you've got Salzburg, you've got Bratislava, and then you'll disembark the ship in Budapest. So 5 countries in 7 nights. Fantastic way to see the scenery and the countryside. In France, as I mentioned, we have 5 different itineraries. So if you really love wines, if you're a real Francophile, of course, lots of history here as well. We've always had a Paris Normandy cruise, very rich in, you know, World War II history. People love it for the just for the historical significance. Maybe they've had family that served, you know, and they just want to see it. So Paris Normandy is popular, and we just created a new itinerary that covers the beaches of Normandy. But I put this one in because I like it better than the typical Paris Normandy. Typical Paris Normandy starts in Paris and ends in Paris round trip cruise, just makes a loop. This one starts in Paris and goes one way. You actually disembark the ship here in Le Havre, which is in the Brittany region of France. When you're standing here with good binoculars, I guess, you can actually see England, because you're on the English Channel here. So you get to this beautiful port city, and then we motor coach you, and you'll go to Mont Saint-Michel.
Oh, beautiful.
Spectacular. You'll spend 3 nights in Saint-Malo, and Mont Saint-Michel will be a day trip, which if you've seen pictures of Mont Saint-Michel, it's spectacular. So if you had to choose between Paris Normandy and Impressions of the Seine and Paris, I would go for this one, because I just think it has a little bit more of a wow factor. The Paris Normandy will just give you pre and post in Paris, which is okay. You know, you could still do that here, pre in Paris, and then end in Le Havre with that other spectacular finale. And then the Rhine Gorge. So this is a spectacular section of the river where you'll see lots of castles, lots of palaces. And when you're sailing, you know, anybody afraid of seasickness, there's no concern for that. The water is, you know, you're sailing on a river, so you're seeing nothing. You're not seeing just water like when you're on a big ship. You're seeing castles, you're seeing scenery. Yeah, there are some sections where you'll see some industrial ports, but it's so scenic and so beautiful. And what we like to say about river cruising is that oceans take you 2 countries, but we take you through them. So you're sailing and seeing all this beauty around you, and you'll get commentary from the cruise manager as you're sailing. What I like about the Rhine cruise itineraries is it offers a couple of big cities like Amsterdam, like Cologne, but it offers those little tiny towns that I love, like Strasbourg, like Requier, Rudesheim, just fairy tale places to visit. So a nice blend where the Danube is more big cities, just comparison. So on the Rhine, typically 4 countries, starting with 2 nights in Amsterdam, sailing southbound or vice versa. There's the Black Forest that Matt had mentioned earlier. That's an excursion that you can take. And when you get off the ship here in Basel, you can continue to do 2 nights in Lucerne, 2 nights in Zurich. Or there's other options, which I'll talk about. Oh, maybe not. But there is another option I'll talk about right now. When you get off in Basel, I do so many of this presentation, I apologize, I get them mixed up. The other option would be to go to Lake Como, which is really popular. We just launched that one in 2021. So to get off in Basel, we motor coach you, and you'll end up in beautiful Italy right there. We make a stop in Bellanzona on the way, and you'll get to go to Bellagio and all that as well.
Columba, can we stay on this slide for a second?
Yep.
Because this is the one I did, and it was fascinating. The background behind me right now is actually Strasbourg, which is a city I did not know anything about really before heading over there, and to learn about the history with France and Germany and the battles over this city, and the architecture that's there today interblended with each other from when each controlled the region hundreds of years ago, and being able to compare them. And of course, the wine there, the Pinot Grigio, is just spectacular. But being able to take a separate canal, it's not a cruise, but a canal ride down in Strasbourg, and Speyer as well was just an amazing city. Rudesheim, great destination. That's where you see a couple of different castles, and there's beautiful vineyards that you get to walk through depending on what you do. And it's the route between Rudesheim and Liechtenstein, right? That's got the UNESCO heritage sites of 40 castles in 33 kilometers.
Exactly.
I mean, your head's on a swivel almost, looking at the different castles on each side. It's really it blows you away. It's really special.
And then we have Christmas market cruises, which are very, very popular. Christmas markets generally open the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Some open a little bit earlier. I got to do one in November with my niece. We were actually on the ship for Thanksgiving. So what the first few days, the markets weren't open. We saw them building the boxes and getting ready. But once we got past Thanksgiving, Cologne was spectacular. Rudesheim, all the little towns had their Christmas markets open, ready to welcome guests. And it's really a magical time. It does get dark earlier. You have to like the cold weather, but I have to say it wasn't really cold. It was kind of nice. But what we would do we would leave the ship in the morning, go on our guided tour. My niece in Cologne, she went to do the beer tasting and something else, and I went on the city tour. Then we met. It was still light out. I said, all right, what are we going to hang around here all day? Let's go back to the ship. What the ship does is they provide a shuttle service that will take you back and forth. So by 3:30, 4 o'clock, we went, let's go back out now. The lights will be going on. So we got there just in time to see the lights get lit. We stayed for some music, stayed for some food. Of course, you get the glue wine. You see these girls with their mugs here. Every city you go to has a mug with the name of the city and the year. You go to the stand, it's €7 to fill it with this delicious mulled wine, which is very tasty. Then you go to the next stand, you get it refilled for €5. So it becomes your souvenir to take home in each city. So my niece and I had 4 each from our trip. Now, Matt has some group space that he's promoting for this year's Christmas markets.
Yes. Can I share my screen?
I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. Let's see. This will stop other screen sharing. Do you want to continue? Continue. Yes, I've got some group space because the cruise I was on last year was as the Christmas markets were being put up. It was very early November. And, I mean, you guys all know I'm very Jewish, so I don't like necessarily the whole Christmas thing, but it was really cool watching these things go up and what it means to the people there. So let me see if I can make this bigger here. This is the cruise in particular. It's a 7-night cruise, December 19th through the 26th on board Prima. We're running a special through the end of this month. It's $2,000, up to $2,000 off on a stateroom, or you can take advantage of one of the pre or post land experiences for free, complimentary. So it's one or the other. And these are some shots of the Prima. And let me see if I can pull this up quickly. On the other one, Christmas, here we go. This is the itinerary. It starts in Amsterdam and then works its way down. So December 21st in Cologne, and Cologne's Christmas market is out of the world. I mean, it might be the best in the world. So to be there on December 21st is really going to be special when you're looking at a Christmas market, and then works its way down through Rudesheim, just a magical city. I'm not going to try and pronounce the next one. Lutschwagen. That's where I went to. Yeah, that's where I went to Speyer, which I just fell in love with. Strasbourg, Briesich, which is where the Black Forest is, and then disembarking the day after Christmas in Basel. So it's really a great time in terms of falling in line with the Christmas holiday, as kids might be off from school, or as you're thinking about your holiday vacation. Yeah, you see here on the bottom right the offer. Forget the April 14th aspect of it, but cruise fares from $27.98 per person, or the 2 free nights in Amsterdam. Depending on what room you book, you get an automatic free upgrade. I think we're at $300 of onboard credit, and if anyone signs up before the end of the week for this cruise, I will pay personally your $400 deposit. So there's another $400 in your pocket. So the price of the cruise comes down even more.
That's great. And the ships are also beautifully decorated for the holidays. They do an outstanding job. You can always spot the AMA Waterways ships because they're decorated inside and out. And they do special things on board. You put your shoes out. I don't want to tell you too much, but they do this little thing where you put your shoes out and you either get coal or chocolate or something sweet in your shoe. So that's something they do. Now, do I have to reshare my screen to get to the end?
Well, is the end the Alma Magna?
I don't remember.
I don't think so, because I want to show them the Alma Magna, which is
okay, fine. Go
the
ahead.
granddaddy of them all for river cruise ships. And it sails exclusively on the Danube. I'm going to be on this one very end of October this year.
If anybody wants to join you, they can.
Yes. It is trying to find the photos gallery.
Now, while he's doing that, this ship is twice the width of a standard ship on the rivers, but only carries 40 more guests. So the staterooms are much, much larger.
They start at 350 square feet.
Sorry?
350 square feet they started, I think, right?
Oh, no. That's the average is 355. The minimum is 210. Yeah. But there's one on board that's 700 square feet. And there's 4 different restaurants on the ship. And they're all included. So you can eat at whichever restaurant you like the best all week long, or just, rotate all week long. Much larger gym.
You can garden.
Yeah. Yeah. And the newest addition on this ship, they added a pickleball court this year.
Yeah.
Up on the top. So.
Okay. All yours.
Very unique. All right. Now I got to go back to me. Hold on. How do I do this now? You threw me off.
Well, just go back to your share
Here I am.
screen.
Here I am, I think. There it is. Okay. Okay, so just a quick slide on the Mekong. We just threw one exotic in here in case people have done Europe already. I did this trip in 2014, 122 guests. If you've done Europe, you want something really, really different. What I love most about our ships and our exotic destinations is that the staff on board is from those destinations. So you'll be served by Vietnamese and Cambodian staff. It's not some foo-foo European ship that was brought over with, you know, their staff on board. You get the real flavor. And if you're doing this trip, I would not do just the cruise. You have to, must do the pre and post, because that's how you'll get your Angkor Wat, Angkor Thom, all of the archaeological sites along the way. And the lower corner, this middle picture here, that's Halong Bay. We take you overnight on a little Vietnamese ship that takes you to this beautiful area, floating markets, really, really special. So and again, any more detail on this, Egypt, Africa, just let Matt know. Again, Matt, sorry.
The Mekong is included in the free land pre or post right now also. So it's really a great way to take advantage of 2 weeks for a very, very reasonable price when you're looking at everything that's included with the excursions, the drinks, and the pre or post land in Cambodia and Vietnam.
And on our Vietnamese cruise, all alcohol is included all day, not like in Europe. So yeah, little added bonus. So the other promo, if you're interested in anything, any itinerary, you know, Matt has his group going on the Rhine, but if you're interested in something else, we have some pre or post land packages that are complimentary on certain dates this year. So take advantage. You can do the 3 nights in Prague complimentary, Lake Como, or Paris. And if you're looking at Egypt, we're giving Dubai as a complimentary as well. So just in case. And also for this year, because we know the airfares are high, we have certain dates where we have our Air Plus program. So it's $8.99 for economy air, $22.99 for premium economy, and $42.99 for business class air. Again, not every ship and every date. I will send the flyer to Matt and he will forward it to you. If you
I have the flyer. I just need to find it.
Well, if you can't, email me and I will
Land.
Okay.
Yeah, but can you remind everyone what those prices were again? I know it's $8.99 round trip.
$99 for economy, $22.99 for premium economy, and $42.99 for business class air. So,
round trip.
Yep, round trip. That's on Europe. And with the pre and post land extensions, don't forget what I told you early when we started, what's included. You stay in 4 and 5 star class hotels, breakfast daily, sightseeing daily, free time, the services of your cruise manager. And you really do want to book the air, you know, through Matt, through AMA, so that your transfers and everything is included. You know, it may look like you can get a cheaper fare somewhere, but if it's not that big a difference, better off doing the air with us, because we know you're coming, we know when you're coming, we know when to pick you up, and it just really makes it much more of a seamless experience for you. So, you know, use your points for something else, but when you're doing this, come with us. So it's all.
I know Columbo doesn't like when I say this, but some of you, more Paul than anyone else here, knows I am a points expert. It's how I got into traveling. So I can help you find the best points deals as well, and make sure you get there on time, even a day before, so that you can take advantage of the city and be relaxed when you get on board that cruise.
Okay, fine. All right. So I don't think anybody put any questions in the chat, but if you want to open up and ask any questions, we're happy to answer them for you. Look at that. That's the Magna going down the lower Danube. So that's your view when you're going along the rivers. Pretty amazing. Any questions?
It doesn't look that way. I see some heads nodding and some smiles. So
I have a quick question, actually. So you're saying that summer it's okay with kids, because I have 2 kids, not kids, I mean like the 16 and 18, almost like adult, you know, young adult.
Yeah.
So it's only for the summer
No,
that,
no, I'm just saying that
Okay.
that's usually when you'll see kids on board because that's when they're off from school. You know, you're
Yeah.
not gonna really find them in October, November. But you know, our major competitor says no one under 18 is allowed on the ship. They don't want kids at all, but we welcome them. And because we have the adjoining stateroom, it'd be perfect because your kids could be right next door. You keep an eye on them, you know, but it's not like the big ships where they're going to be, you know, looking for the disco and the lounge. There's none of that, you know. They're really just going to be out. And if that's a perfect age because they can take the bike tours, the hiking tours, and really get immersed in the destination and not, you know, why go on a cruise to Europe when there's an ice skating rink and rock climbing and basketball like the big ships have? It's like, to me, it's like stupid. Like, why would I do that? I'm taking my kids to Europe. If you're not driving yourself, this is a great way to see Europe and see big cities, small cities, and see where people live, where they shop, where they dine. You're seeing the real thing, you know.
And I mean, you see the kids on board also in December during the Christmas markets.
Got it.
So yeah, it's an opportunity out there. It's just based around the school calendar usually.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Perfect for Logan, Paul.
Yeah, right.
Why? What's with Logan? All right.
Yeah,
So
for him to be
questions?
stuck on a cruise with us would probably not be fun for him.
How old is Logan?
15.
He might like it. He won't admit it.
Yeah.
He'll never admit it, but he'll like it. I bet you.
So thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I'm really excited about AMA and, you know, my company, Unique Luxury Travels, and I hope you sense that excitement and some of the opportunities with AMA. I'm always happy to answer questions. You all know how to get a hold of me. So if no one else has any questions, I think we're going to close this out saying good night, and I'll see some of you in person on Monday, hopefully.
Yes.
Maybe there won't be this orange haze at that point.
Thanks for
Okay.
joining us.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about the recording. You got that already.
Stop recording. I hope I've got that. Stop clap.